Welcome to Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Aniakan, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at some of the major stories. Federal government promises stable power supply to industrial clusters. House Committee on Works backs Umahi on concrete road construction. Plus, U.S. Defense Secretary Austin arrives in Tel Aviv for talks with Israeli leaders. We will bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. We begin the news this afternoon from the national scene where the Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured the industrialists around Agbara industrial clusters in the Ado-Odo-Ota local government area of Ogun State that within the next 4 months the problem of epileptic power supply to the area will become history. He reiterated the determination of the federal government under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu to ensure adequate power supply across the country, especially in industrial clusters. The Vice President gave the assurance during the Agbara Business Roundtable held in Agbara, Ogun State. Shettima said it was embarrassing that the Agbara industrial cluster relies on other sources of power supply aside from the national grid, adding that the federal government, through the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, was committed to ensuring that clusters like Agbara benefit from a cheaper means of generating power in their various factories. Away from that, the federal government, through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has said that it is not in the interest of the government to stifle freedom of expression, but to promote healthy communication. The minister made the remark when he received a team from Google West Africa on a courtesy call to his office. Idris said it is important to have a platform where people can express themselves freely, noting that freedom comes with enormous responsibility, which should not translate to an avenue for the creation of anarchy in the country. He added that the federal government would continue to promote freedom of expression, allowing the environment to be free for everybody to express themselves and have the right of access to information. Meanwhile, the federal government, through the National Agricultural Seed Council, has commenced training of farmers and other stakeholders in quality assurance and crop certification. Speaking at the training, which held in Jos Plateau State, the Acting Director General of the National Agricultural Seed Council, Khalid Ishaku, said the federal government, through the council, was determined to protect the farmers and rid the country of any form of adulterated agricultural seeds. According to him, the training project, which is being carried out across the country under the Program for Seed System Innovation for Vegetability Propagated Crops in Africa, aims to enhance the efficiency of the targeted crop seed system and improve food security in Nigeria. From the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives Committee on Works has thrown its weight behind the Minister of Works, David Umahi, over his insistence on constructing concrete roads in place of the age-long traditional use of asphalt. The decision to back the minister's position was taken at the inaugural meeting of the committee at the main bowl of the National Assembly in Abuja. The move is coming on the heels of Umahi's appeal to aggrieved foreign contractors to stop sabotaging the implementation of concrete road technology in Nigeria. Chairman of the committee, Akin Alabi, assured in a statement that an effective oversight will be carried out at the Ministry of Works to ensure there is value for funds appropriated for road construction and rehabilitation in Nigeria. In a separate development, the National Commandant of the Nigeria Peace Corps, Dixon Akor, has commended the House of Representatives for passing the Peace Corps bill to the Senate for concurrent. Akor gave the commendation while reacting to the passage of the bill by the House of Reps in Abuja. The Commandant said the passage of the bill was the third attempt at pushing the establishment bill to become law. He further said there was justification in what was before the National Assembly, adding that the Peace Corps was capable of addressing the socio-economic challenges confronting Nigerian youths. Back here on the home front, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly yesterday directed a matter of urgent public importance on the invasion of Akwafuru Kim community in Oran local government area of the Committee on Boundary and that of Internal Security to work in synergy to salvage the dire situation in the area immediately and bring succor to the people. Presenting the matter on the floor of the House, the Oran State Constituency Representative Dr. Itorobong Etam sought that the House should intervene in the situation and direct relevant agencies of government to ensure restoration of normalcy in the affected region. Speaker of the House thus directed the Committee on Boundary Matters and other relevant agencies of government to intervene in the situation. Meanwhile, member representing Etinan State Constituency, Udwak Ekbo Ford, raised the matter of urgent public importance on an issue of land conflict and massacre in Ndoniyo. Ekpo Ford, who lamented that this is the second time he will be bringing up the issue on the floor of the House of the mayhems and violence going on in Ndoniyo and surroundings, sought that relevant arms involved in security be invited to explain to the House what their plans are to bring respite to the affected region. Ekpo Ford also pleaded with the government to help the affected communities in terms of compensation. senior girl was killed and she has been released. How many more will be killed for us? Meanwhile, in his reaction, the Deputy Speaker Kufre Didem frowned at the situation where invitations will be sent to commissioners cleared on the floor of the House on issues of state interest, but they will decline to appear. The Speaker Udeme Otong later condemned the gory actions of the perpetrators of the mayhem, directed the Chairman House Committee on Security to be proactive in his moves toward preserving the lives of citizens in the region. In the meantime, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly also heard a motion for the construction of Okopedi Okobo Oyubia Road to restore economic activities to the affected areas. This motion was moved by Okobo State Constituency Representative Basi Pius Basi, who in his representation on the floor of the House lamented the poor road condition in the area as well as the pause of economic activities in the area hitherto known for its vibrancy. He said fixing the road will change the narrative that has seen, the route being turned to a den of miscreants and hoodlums for perpetration of various nefarious acts. Others are women people of villages who don't from village. How can your village? I know you here. While the readers for will benefit to know more. We don't have to fear and the reader. The causes for will benefit after women. You know you and of course you. Worry that scoundrels and criminals take advantage of this poor road and the non-existence of law enforcement agencies to rob the people using motorbikes, rape young women, cut away valuable belongings of the people, and make life very meaningless. Seriously disturbed that if government does not take urgent action, the fate of the people who elected me to represent them in this House chamber will be left in the hands of hoodlums and miscreants that have made life already meaningless. The Speaker directed the clerk to write the governor with purchase queue representing of the situation in the area with the commissioners work also in the know. Meanwhile, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly also heard a motion for urgent intervention and reconstruction of Mount Carmel Hospital, Akwautong, Afiafia. Leading proceedings, the sponsor of the motion and member representing Ibesikwa Sudan State Constituency, Ubong Atta, underscored the importance of health and the responsibility of government in ensuring the well-being of its citizens. He noted that if the facility is fixed, the people of the area and indeed environs will be spared the pains of traveling afar in search for medical treatment, which sometimes results in other unforeseen tragedies, including accidents. He prayed that construction of the facility will be included in the state's budget, with relevant agencies directed to assess the situation at the hospital and appraise the intervention work needed to be done.
The attached pictures truly depict the present state of the hospital as a mere skeleton of its former flesh and glory. Disturbed that patients from these local government areas now resort to traveling long distances to St. Luke's General Hospital and one, even under emergency situations, thus resulting in high mortality rates, especially in accident victims and pregnant women. While my constituents highly appreciate, admire, and applaud the giant strides so far taken by His Excellency Pastor Moino in infrastructural maintenance to advancement of our state in general and Ibetikwasutan in particular, especially by the flag of and speedy construction of the primary health center equal to poor. I wish to humbly, honestly, and humanely draw the state government's attention to the PTF contemplative
Submission, the Speaker Odemo Tong acknowledged that health is very paramount to the state's constituents and directed the clerk of the House to also write the Governor, Pastor Omoino, to ensure relevant ministries include renovation of the facilities in their respective budgets for implementation. Meanwhile, a bill for a law to provide for the management of funds accruing to the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly from the consolidated revenue of Akwa Ibom State to ensure accountability, transparency, effective and efficient utilization of the funds and related matters had yesterday been read, the third time by the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, and passed into law for assent by the Governor of the state, Pastor Umoino. Leading the debate during second reading of the bill, which was given accelerated hearing, the sponsor of the bill, Otobong Bob, outlined the general principles of the bill and its imports.
I think considering the urgency and the need for this House to have financial autonomy, I humbly ask of my colleagues to please support this bill to see the light of day, because I think it is one that won't just have immense benefit to the House, it will have immense benefit to the state, because the financially.
In their contribution, led by the Chief Whip Effiong Johnson, followed by the Deputy Speaker Kufre Basi Edidem, commended the features of the bill, adding that it will, amongst other things, make funds available for the Assembly's general legislative functions. After subsequent dissolution of the House into Committee of the Whole to consider the bill for third reading, the Speaker Odemo Tong made pronouncement of the passage of the bill. Two other bills were read for the first time, including a bill for a law to amend the Akwa Ibom State Agricultural Loan Law Cap 11 by increasing the amount that may be granted as loans to farmers, corporate bodies and cooperative societies, and for related matters. The second bill read for the first time was a bill for a law to amend the Akwa Ibom State Cattle Control and Taxation Law Cap 24 laws of Akwa Ibom State by increasing the amount to be charged as tax on every head of trade cattle entering the state and for other purposes connected thereto. The House was thus adjourned to Thursday, the 19th day of October 2023. We move now to Africa, where Kenya's Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki has said that the country will send assessment delegations to Haiti before deploying police officers to address gang violence there. Kindiki also said the officers were equipped to take on Haiti's gangs as they had been successfully deployed to several countries before, including Namibia, Cambodia, the former Yugoslavia, Bosnia, and Croatia. Sierra disclosed that police officers were part of security forces currently deployed in Somalia and South Sudan. The Interior Minister, however, said the deployment will happen after passing all the legal requirements, including approval by the Parliament and the Senate. Still in Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi has said that DR Congo will reduce restrictions in two conflict-hit areas where a state of siege, essentially martial law, has been enforced for 2 years. President Tshisekedi said in a televised address that he had decided on a gradual and progressive easing of restrictions in the eastern province of North Kivu and Ituri, noting that the state of siege was imposed in 2021 in order to suppress unrest in the region. The president added that he would lift a curfew that had been imposed, allow the free movement of people and goods, and restore the right to peaceful demonstration and assembly. On the foreign scene, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has arrived in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv to meet with senior government leaders and see firsthand some of the U.S. weapons and security assistance that Washington rapidly delivered to Israel in the first week of its war with the militant Hamas group. Austin is expected to meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant, and the Israeli War Cabinet. His arrival comes as Israel's military directed hundreds of thousands of residents in Gaza City to evacuate for their own safety and protection ahead of a feared Israeli ground offensive. Still on the foreign scene, Israel's army have called for all Gaza City residents to evacuate their homes and head south of the territory for their safety. The Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) said the army will continue to operate significantly in Gaza City and make extensive efforts to avoid harming civilians. According to the IDF, Hamas terrorists are hiding in Gaza City inside tunnels, underneath houses, and inside buildings populated with innocent civilians, adding that residents will be able to return to Gaza City only when another announcement permitting it is made. Still to come in the news. Super Eagles draw Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau in AFCON 2023 group. Stay tuned for details after the break. Thanks for staying tuned in. Now to the rest of the news stories. On our business news, the federal government has granted a petroleum exploration license to TGS Data Offshore Services Limited, which is the first of such license to be issued under the Petroleum Industry Act PIA 2021. It said the license, which was granted by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Commission (NUPRC), was in compliance with the provisions of Section 71, Subsection 1, Subsection 10 of the PIA. It also announced that Nigeria's oil drilling rigs had increased from 10 in 2022 to 31 in August this year, developments that gave rise to increased crude oil output in September. The chief executive NUPRC, Benga Komalafe, said the petroleum exploration license was under the license agreement which the Commission and TGS PD executed for a geophysical survey project. In health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is partnering with the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, to ensure sustainable access to affordable and acceptable quality medicine for Nigerians. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, made this known at a joint press conference with the Director General of NHIA, Professor Mohammed Sambo, in Abuja. The NAFDAC boss noted that under the NHIA Medicine Supply Initiative, 33 drugs will be branded with NHIA inscription and NAFDAC through the Directorate of Registration. She also said the regulatory affairs will ensure that appropriate and adequate labeling of the medicine is done in line with the agency's labeling requirements and in accordance with NHIA guidelines. In sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been drawn into Group A alongside host Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau for upcoming 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. The draw ceremony took place in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, where the tournament is scheduled to be held from January 13 through February 11, 2024. In the qualifiers, Nigeria secured the top spot in its group with 15 points, showcasing an impressive performance with 22 goals, including a remarkable 16-0 aggregate win against Sao Tome and Principe. Nigeria, a three-time AFCON winner, will strive to clinch the title once again, having previously triumphed in 1980, 1994 and 2018. On our entertainment news, Merryman Nemesis takes a journey of revenge in an official trailer released ahead of its theatrical debut. In this third part of the franchise, Dafe Chidimokeme takes revenge for being left behind in Russia during one of their missions. He also hunts down corrupt politicians as he believes the group has failed in its duties to exact the right judgment. Produced by Darlington Abuda, the crime thriller will debut today, October 13, across cinemas nationwide. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to follow us across all social media platforms, all of which you can find at spectrumtv.ng. This has been Spectrum Television News at 12. I am Uyai Anyeka, and thanks for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.